Alright, so let me now show you how you can create pivot chart reports. Pivot table report is good for seeing the data in a tabular format or in a crosstab layout, but the chart reports make it easier for you to analyze data to kind of easily spot trends. And Excel provides a pivot chart report for this purpose. So now let's go and visualize the same data that we have in the pivot report in the chart area. So I'm going to go and click the chart report to select it. Now, as you can see at this point, the Power Pivot field list resets itself, and basically I don't have any fields added to any zones because I've selected the chart report, which is not configured yet. So when you switch between reports, you would see that whatever changes you apply to that report, actually the Power Pivot field list will reflect those changes. So again, let's go and select the chart area, and let's repeat very similar steps. Expand the reseller sales table and click the sales amount, and that creates a default column type chart, but Excel lets you change the chart types to any of those chart types. Actually comes with Excel. For our purposes, the column chart is okay. Then let's go ahead and in the sales territory table, check again the territory country field. So we put that in the axis fields zone to show the sales amount group by country. And finally, let's go and go to the date table and click the calendar year field. Now, as you can see, because the calendar year is numeric, Power Pivot puts it in the value zone. But actually, what we really need is for this field to be in the legend fields. So I'm just going to drag the field from the value zone and put it in the legend field zone. So now I've got my chart that shows me the sales amount, reseller sales amount by country, and also by years in series. So we can spend some time to refine the chart layout. For example, one thing that I see here is that my y-axis can benefit from some formatting. Fortunately, in Excel, I can just right-click the area that I want to make changes, and in this case, go to Format Axis, go to the Number tab, and change this to a 0 decimal places with 1000 separator. Now, it's a good idea to put a title in my chart. If the title area doesn't show by default, you can go to the Layout menu, and then you can click on Chart Title above Chart. And let's go and rename this to Sales by Country. And while this fields the calendar year, territory, country, sum of sales amount, they're very good for I mean, when you work with the report interactively, they're probably not so good if you want to publish the report or if you want to send the workbook to another user and you don't expect that user to actually interact with those fields. So let's go ahead and hide them. You can click each one of those gray field areas and say hide all fields button on chart. And if you want to restore them and some other point of time, you can click on the Analyze menu, and then you can expand on the field buttons and uncheck Hide All. This will bring back the fields back to the pivot chart. And I guess that's it. Oh, one more thing that we need to do. When you have a chart report, Excel automatically creates a supporting sheet that actually supplies the data for that chart. Before you publish or before you give your reports to somebody else, probably it makes sense to reduce clutter and to hide, make sure to hide it, not to delete it, that supporting sheet. So let's go ahead and click on Data, for sheet 1, chart 1, and say right click on it and say hide. And also, let's say we don't need this sheet which we generated when we drill through the report. So let's go ahead and select right click sheet 5 and say delete. So that was it. With a few clicks, we were able to create a pivot table report and a pivot chart report that will let us analyze data interactively from the data from our Power Pivot, our AdventureWorks Power Pivot model.